Are you ready to dive into the mysteries of the unknown? Tune into the electrifying X Zone radio TV show hosted by the one and only Rob McConnell.
I'm Rob McConnell, and get ready for a mind-bending journey through the unexplained phenomenon that surrounds us all. From UFO encounters to cryptids, ghosts, and everything in between, we've got it covered here in the X Zone.
Rob McConnell, the seasoned investigator and renowned radio personality, brings you the most compelling interviews with top experts, authors, and experiencers from around the world. Each episode is an unforgettable exploration into the depths of the extraordinary.
That's right, X Zone Nation. Join me every week as we open the door to the supernatural and explore the strange and amazing stories that will leave you questioning everything you thought you knew.
And it's not just radio anymore. With our groundbreaking TV show, you can now witness the sessions unfold right before your eyes. From chilling reenactments to captivating visuals, prepare yourself for a multimedia experience like never before.
With a legacy spanning over 2 decades, the X Zone Radio and TV show with yours truly, Rob McConnell, is your ultimate source for mind-blowing entertainment and thought-provoking discussions. Join our growing community of truth seekers as we continue to unlock the world's mysteries.
So, why wait? Step into the X Zone and embark on a journey that will challenge your beliefs, ignite your curiosity, and keep you on the edge of your seat.
Remember, X Zone Nation, the truth is out there, and it's waiting for you right here on the X Zone Radio and TV show with yours truly, Rob McConnell. Don't miss a minute of the action.
Tune in now on your favorite radio station or visit xzoneradiotv.com to join the adventure. The X Zone Radio TV show with Rob McConnell, where reality meets the unknown.
The X Zone Radio TV show, unraveling the secrets of the universe, one episode at a time. For more information, visit www.xzoneradiotv.com.
The following program may contain coarse language, violence, nudity, mature subject matter, or scenes which may not be suitable for all viewers. Viewer discretion is advised.
All Hit Radio.
Welcome to the X Zone, a place where fact is fiction and fiction is reality. Now, here's your host, Rob McConnell.
And welcome back to the X Zone, everyone. I hope everyone has had a wonderful day so far. And just welcoming you to this week that we are talking about the PPRI and their symposium that they're having in Halifax, Nova Scotia on November the 1st. If you'd like more information about the 2025 Halifax Paranormal Symposium, visit www.ppri.net. And I'd like to welcome all our listeners and viewers from around the world, either listening to us on the Talkstar Radio Network, Mutual Broadcast Network, X Zone Broadcast Network, or on your hometown radio, Classic 1220, that streams us on classic1220.ca, or watching us on Tuber on demand or on Rogers Cable's Videotron or Shaw TV here in Canada. And if you'd like to watch us in any other country, there's 170 countries around the world that were available on demand on Tuber at tuber.com. Well, tonight we're having another guest from the PPRI. We're heading back to Halifax, Nova Scotia, to meet with an extraordinary guest, Jodi Russell, a gifted medium, and who uses her very unique ability to bridge the world of the living and to the spiritual realm that is somewhere on the other side. Joining me now is Jodi Russell. Jodi, welcome back to the X Zone. How are you?
I'm good. Thank you for having me back.
It's always great talking to you, Jodi. And before we start, tell us about what you're going to be doing at the PPRI's 2025 Halifax Paranormal Symposium.
Yeah, so I'm going to be volunteering that day along with a handful of other PPRI volunteers.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm going to be mostly just handling the crowd, a lot of signing everybody in and making sure everything goes smoothly for all our speakers and our vendors and everything.
Exciting time.
Yeah.
Jodi, can you share with us how you first realized you had mediumistic abilities?
Sure. Ooh. I started seeing things and hearing things when I was about 10 years old.
Mhm.
Um, I didn't realize I was a medium at the time. I just thought everyone saw or heard ghosts or had these experiences. Um, it wasn't until I actually saw my grandmother a few years into having these experiences that I realized, oh, it's for me. It's not just something I'm seeing.
When you saw your grandmother, how did you feel?
Mhm. Oh, so overwhelmed. Very joyful, but also a little bit startling.
What were you doing when you had this first encounter of a mediumistic type?
I honestly, we had moved to Nova Scotia, and we were from Newfoundland, and it was our first house that we moved into in this province, and
Mm.
I just assumed the house was haunted. I just would hear, um, there was an older man that lived there, that resided there, I should say, and a young girl, and I would hear them constantly. I would hear them living their lives, basically.
How did your parents take you being a medium, when you first went to them and discussed with them what you had seen and what you had heard? Were they supportive?
Yeah, surprisingly, they were. There are experiences on both sides of my family,
Mhm.
especially my dad's side of the family. So I don't think they were shocked per se, but they always trusted. If I was afraid, there was a reason to be afraid. And yeah, they never questioned that I was having the experiences, although they did question, or at least push aside a handful of the ones that I brought to them that were a little bit scarier. They probably didn't want to scare me by feeding into it.
What kind of scary ones?
Well, my favorite is in the second house we lived in as a family, here in Nova Scotia. My bed would shake in the middle of the night, and sometimes it would just lift up an inch or two and just drop down. It was so, I mean, it was horrifying. It was so scary. And I remember going to my parents about it, and they didn't want to encourage it and scare me. So they said, it's okay. It's okay. And they kind of convinced me it wasn't really, maybe not a big deal or maybe not happening. But then, um, long after we moved out of the house, my dad actually said to me one day, Jody, our TV broke and I went in to watch a hockey game. I sat on your bed and it lifted up off the ground and it dropped down.
Well, what did dad think after that?
Yeah, he believed it wholeheartedly. But I thought, I've been telling you that for a long time.
Why you? Why do you think that you have this gift, this ability to communicate between the different realms?
That's a good question. I think everybody has the ability.
Mhm.
I know people are conflicted on that. That some people say some people are chosen to have it. Some people think it's a lot more common than people realize. I tend to lean that way. I think um, it's all about how much you just accept or trust that these things are happening. And I do. I accept that they're happening. And so you kind of build your intuition that way. I think anybody could lean in and build their intuition if they really wanted to.
Something I've learned over the years doing the show is that the majority of mediums like yourself have their first encounter at an early age, and it seems as if the encounter at the early age opens up something within you, whether it's the inner eye, whether it's the ability as a child to believe that there's much more out there, and it stays with you. Is this what happened in your case?
I would say yes. I don't have any memory before 10 years old of actually experiencing these things. But once I did experience it the first time, it's like you can't unknow something. So once I knew that this was out there, I just wholeheartedly believed it was out there. And I think it did open me up to having more of a connection going forward.
For those who may not be familiar, how do you personally define a medium?
So a medium is somebody who communicates with spirit
Mhm.
specifically. And then the difference being, having psychic abilities is somebody who can read any energy or person. So it could be past, present, future. It could be distance communication, telepathy, or talking to animals. So I have a little bit of a crossover. So I call it psychic mediumship. where I can read an environment, but I can also talk to conscious spirits as well.
When you're out and about in the Halifax area, do these spirits who know you have the ability to be a medium and that they know that you can communicate with them, do they ever bother you when you're just being Jodi?
Yeah, it's happened. I think that for the most part, I try to switch it off, which um, it's kind of like when you're in work mode and then you're in home mode. So I try to
Okay.
do that. Yeah. There have been times, of course, where something's persistent and I just listen and see what it is. Most of the time, spirit's just excited that you're aware of them.
How do spirits communicate with you if we can't see them, we can't hear them, they have no physical mass?
Mhm.
Do they communicate through an unknown or unyet defined method of consciousness?
I would say yes. With parapsychology, we kind of think of it as telepathy.
Mhm.
Um, so it's more of, like you said, using the consciousness to actually communicate with living consciousness. Um, and then with mediumship, there's kind of all of these little subcategories of perception. You've likely heard clairvoyant before, and that's clear sight. But there's all other forms of clairs. So there's clairaudience, which is clear hearing. Um, Sometimes it's directly a voice in your ear, sometimes it's a voice in your mind. But yeah, it's essentially a telepathic form of communication.
When you had your first experience, going back to the time that you had a communication with your grandmother,
Mhm.
did you actually see her, or was it just the voice that you heard, as a medium?
So I did actually see her.
Wow.
Um, yeah, it was amazing. It was the moment that made me realize, oh, I am speaking with not just the dead that happened to be here, but the dead in general. She held my hand in the middle of the night, and
Goodness.
so beautiful. It was beautiful. I'll never forget it.
You're going to be at the PPRI, the 2025 Halifax Paranormal Symposium.
Yes.
I would imagine that there's a lot of excited people who are going to be jamming down the doors on November the 1st, and this is the 3rd, annual symposium, and what's your favorite part? I've got about 30 seconds before I have to go to my break.
Uh, just the community, I would say. It's the whole thing. Everyone's excited. They all wanna share their love for paranormal.
Wow.
Yeah.
Jodi, good seeing you again, and congratulations on the great work that you do and the great work that Elliot and the rest of the members of the PPRI do.
Oh, thank you.
Stand by. We'll be back on the other side of this break as the X Zone continues with yours truly, Rob McConnell, from our broadcast center and studios in St. Catharines, Ontario, Canada. The 2025 Halifax Paranormal Symposium, November the 1st in Halifax. For more information and for tickets, www.ppri.net.
In the X Zone, we're grooving through the stars. Halifax is calling. November lights the sky at the Tower Hotel.
Are you ready for a tale that will leave you on the edge of your seat? Get ready to dive into the gripping memoir by Bart Sibrel titled Moon Man. Bart Sibrel takes you on a heart-pounding journey, unmasking the truth behind America's famous Apollo missions. Prepare yourself for hair-raising encounters with agents from the U.S. government's top secret agencies. In Moonman, Sibrel fearlessly reveals his real-life espionage adventures, shining a light on one of the CIA's best-kept secrets. Brace yourself for shocking revelations, including Sibrel's discovery of privately recorded audio exposing an Apollo astronaut's chilling plot, a plot orchestrated by the CIA. That's right. As Sibrel unveils this groundbreaking evidence, it becomes clear that there is much more to the Apollo missions than meets the eye. Could it be that we've been deceived all along? Moonman is a gripping page-turner that challenges everything you thought you knew. It's a mind-bending journey into the unknown, where the line between truth and fiction becomes blurred. Don't miss this opportunity to uncover the secrets hidden for decades. Let your curiosity guide you as you join Bart Sibrel on his quest to find the truth. Moonman, available now at Sibrel.com. That's Sibrel.com. Prepare to have your beliefs shaken to the very core.
I try to read every step forward, a silent need, but I won't let this break who I am. I've learned how to fight, learned how to stand. I may fall.
And welcome back, everyone. Jodi Russell is my very special guest. She is a psychic medium, and Jodi is part of the PPRI. And as you know, we've been featuring the PPRI all week here on the X Zone. They're a group of wonderful paranormal investigators headed by a friend of mine. His name is Elliot Van Dusen. And over the years, they've done some fascinating work, and Jodi is part of the team. And if you'd like more information about the 2025 Halifax Paranormal Symposium, or if you'd like to find out more about the PPRI, visit www.ppri.net. The symposium is going to be held in Halifax, Nova Scotia, a most beautiful part of Canada, on November the 1st, which is a Saturday, the day right after Halloween. Coincidence? I think not. Jodi, welcome back. Great seeing you, my friend. Jodi, are there common misconceptions that you would like to clear up about mediums?
Yeah, for sure. I would say that, first of all, you have to use your own discretion when you're working with a medium. Um, I would suggest if they don't offer any type of education, maybe be a little wary because, in my experience, a lot of people who have these skills, they want to share it.
Mhm.
Um, and then, of course, not everybody is out to get you. Most of the time, with mediumship, it's just something we have. It's a skill like any other skill, and lots of times we just like to share it and use it to our advantage to actually help people.
Can you share with us one of the most profound or memorable readings that you've ever had?
Ooh, that's a good question. I would say the most interesting reading I've ever had was of a property. It was a historic property, and this is the first and only time I've ever had an experience like this. It actually started a few months before I went to the property itself. I woke up in the middle of the night and there was a little boy standing in the hall, and he was in blue and white pajamas. Um, and I saw him there, and I'm used to people passing through, so I thought maybe that's what he was doing. And I said to him, come back in the morning, and if you still want to talk, then we'll talk. Um, I just like to set that boundary because I'm a person. I need to get my sleep, and
Sure.
going somewhere to talk to someone and then finding someone in the dark in your hallway is two different things. So I went back to bed, and I could feel him looking at me, and I looked up, and he was doing his little peek around the door jamb, so I could just see him like this, and
Oh,
his little fingers. I felt bad. I knew he wanted to talk, but again, I said, in the morning, and he didn't come back, and um, it bothered me a little, but I thought, it couldn't have been too important, or he'd be back. And a few months later, we went to a historic property called the Ottawa House. It's one of the original houses here in Parsboro, Nova Scotia. And as I was approaching the property, I'm blind to it in the sense because I don't get any information beforehand. That's how I make sure my readings are fairly pure. And he popped into my car and he said, "You're coming to my house." And I thought, I remember you. What do you mean? And when I got there, he was in fact there. He was a little boy. He was much easier to read in his own environment. He was a little boy, 7 years old, in the same exact pajamas I had seen him in my house, and he had died of tuberculosis. He told me he was very tired before he died, and so now that he is full of beans, he just loves to
oh.
run around, and he loves when people come to visit him. But just the telling part. being that he already knew me. So time doesn't necessarily exist outside of the physical realm, um, which just it blew my mind. I've never had an experience like that before.
In the many communications that you've had with the other side,
Mhm.
have they given you an idea of what happens when we die and where do we go?
Yeah, I've gotten a little bit of information. There's a couple things I do know for sure is that they've told me that nobody dies alone. Somebody always comes to retrieve you. So even if in life you are very lonely, you do not die alone. And I think that's so beautiful. Um, and moving on to the next stage is a choice. I've also been told. So when we have ghosts the things we call ghosts, the spirits that stay here, that haunt your house, um, they are here by choice, whether it's fear of moving on and not knowing what's next, or confusion and not really truly believing that they've died. But yeah, it is a choice to stay or go.
How does one's personal belief in a religious philosophy affect the paranormal?
Yeah, that's a good question. I myself don't adhere to any
Mhm.
specific religious beliefs, but I have heard of it being conflicting for some, liberating for some, and there's a lot of people out there who just marry them very well together. So there's no hard fast rule. You don't have to be a spiritualist or religious. You can. A lot of people find a middle ground.
Have you ever felt that you have been in danger because of the work that you do as a psychic medium, whether you're doing private readings or whether you're on an investigation with the PPRI?
Yes, I have. I like to think that I go in everywhere fairly protected and with the intention of only really communicating with things that are in my best interest, but things will happen. I have come in contact with things that absolutely scared me to my core, um, for sure. I've never been injured or hurt or anything, but um, yeah, I've definitely been very, very afraid at times. Yeah.
A couple of years ago, demonic possession, demonology was very, very popular, and it seems that things within the paranormal come in waves.
Mm.
Have you ever confronted evil?
I would say, in the sense that people can be evil, I would say yes. I have had an experience with something I would say was what we consider to be demonic. Um, I don't know wholeheartedly that I believe in possession per se, but um, just like there are good and evil people in the world, there are good and evil spirits, and there are good and evil energetic beings as well.
Where does the possibility of reincarnation fall into the work that you do as a psychic medium?
Yeah, it's there wholeheartedly. So obviously in the world of parapsychology, there have been lots of studies and cases where people have remembered their past lives, especially children. Um, but also for myself, I have been told from spirit lots of things about soul families and what happens in between life and death and choosing your next life. So I do know that reincar- reincarnation, sorry, exists, just from what I've been told from spirit. I haven't necessarily come across anyone that I knew was reincarnated from anyone I knew personally or anything like that. But yeah, I've been told that we do make those choices for reincarnation. So that's very interesting.
At events like the Halifax Paranormal Symposium, where people are going to a specific location in a great number because they believe and or they want to believe that the paranormal is real. Do the spirits on the other side get wind of this and decide to come in mass to this area because they know that there are going to be people who are going to open themselves up to the possibility of communication?
I love that idea. I don't know in particular about these events, but you're really onto something with that idea because spirits and things do come to believers. We People put out their own energy field, and believers tend to have an open energy field for communication. So it's kind of like we're little lights in the dark. So that's why some people say that they're haunted, or they have more experience than others. Um, and that's why some people can go to a haunted location and have an experience, and 10 more people can go and nothing will happen. They come to believers.
It reminds me of, I believe it was Neil Diamond who had this song open, something to do with your heart light.
Oh,
And
yes,
and
yeah.
I know at the time the song was relating to one of the ET movies. But is it also possible that heart light applies to people like yourself, because so that the spirits know that your heart light is like a lighthouse, that they're
Mhm.
safe when they come to you?
Yeah, I would say like finds like,
Mhm.
and that's why I'm fortunate enough not to have too many negative experiences, because what you put out there is what you usually get back in, and that's usually what you experience. So I would say yes, absolutely.
Karma is real.
Mm.
Stand by, Jody. We've got to take our break. Explanation, Jodi Russell is our special guest. And if you'd like to meet Jodi in person, she's going to be at the 2025 Halifax Paranormal Symposium that's going to be held in Halifax on November the 1st. If for more information, ticket information, to see who the vendors are, to see all about the great speakers, visit www.ppri.net. This is the X Zone. I'm Rob McConnell, and Jodi and I will be back on the other side of this break as we continue into this place that reality and fiction meld together into something that we call the paranormal. You're listening to us on your hometown radio, Classic 1220 CFAJ, streaming us at classic1220.ca.
Much at all. My body's a mess. Halifax is calling. November lights the sky. At the Tower Hotel, the questions never die. Ancient astronauts and alien stories to be shown. Dr. Greenberg leads the way to mysteries unknown.
NASA has confirmed that they have evidence of life beyond Earth.
This discovery is confirmed.
Well, let's see, we've had visitors again. Yeah. Anything worth mentioning?
I filmed 16 minutes on March 5th, 1994, 16 minutes of broad daylight UFO activity.
The other side, the spirit realm, is a parallel dimension which runs, which coexists with ours. And what spirits are doing is they're sending waves of frequency from that dimension to ours.
The government instituted the truth embargo. The government poured disinformation and misinformation into this field, encouraging hoaxes and any other foolishness. It created a truth vacuum that naturally was going to be filled with theories and assertions and other stuff.
The oil oligarchs and the banks and the people who are making decisions that are leading us down the wrong path.
They've undermined the research, intimidated and threatened witnesses. The government is responsible for the fact that the status of this issue is not resolved.
I'm Rob McConnell, host and executive producer of the X Zone radio show. Now we are set to bring the amazing world of the paranormal and the science of parapsychology to broadcast TV and online video with the development of X Zone TV. X Zone TV will now bring our loyal listeners and new viewers face to face with the most controversial and well-known personalities in the field of the paranormal and the science of parapsychology. From scientists to theorists, astronauts to adventurers, celebrities, pundits, advocates, and naysayers, they'll all join our rapid-fire TV broadcast, interactive discussion, and debate. Interest in the paranormal and parapsychology has never been more intense, and it continues to grow. The truth is out there, so take a deep breath and join us as we step into the light. For more information about X Zone TV, please contact me, Rob McConnell, directly at these coordinates, Rob McConnell at xzonetv.com.
In a world where shadows dance and dreams take flight through the veil of reality into the night, Rob McConnell leads the way, a beacon so bright. With over 35 years, he ignites the light. A voice from the north where whispers are bold, stories untold in the echoes of old. Fact meets fiction in this realm of delight, in the X Zone where dark turns to bright.
And welcome back, everyone. This is the X Zone. I'm Rob McConnell. My very special guest over here tonight is the one and only Jodi Russell. She is a psychic medium that is part of the PPRI group. And if you'd like to find out more about the PPRI or the 2025 Halifax Paranormal Symposium, visit www.ppri.net. Jodi, has there ever been a time as a medium where somebody has asked you to communicate with someone on the other side, and you make that connection, and you say, for example, Rob wants to ask you a question, and the spirit on the other side says, no way, I'm not interested. Goodbye. Has that ever happened?
Yeah. So not with loved ones necessarily, which is a good thing, but in home readings for sure with spirits that already exist there. I have absolutely had it's essentially like a vacuum happens. It's like they hang up the phone, they just whoop, they're
Wow.
done. Yeah.
How long does it take you to actually communicate with someone on the other side?
Um, it is if I'm going to do an investigation, it actually starts before I get there. So I've kind of opened myself up, and usually I'll start getting information either at home or on the journey to the location. So it's really just about getting in the right frame of mind, and it doesn't take long once you're switched on.
Let's say Elliot calls you up and says, Jodi, we've got an investigation. Go to someplace in Halifax.
Mhm.
You meet up with Elliot and the rest of the PPRI group that are going on the investigation. Take us through what happens once you and the team assemble at a location. How does the investigation proceed?
Oh, it's a tight ship. You've talked to Elliot, he was our CMP, and
Yeah.
he runs a tight ship. So I'm kind of the odd man out where I don't get any information beforehand. I'll usually just get a date, and I have to leave that clear, and then I'll get a location the day of or day before. So we show up, and it's a little funny. Nobody's allowed to talk to me, so I go in and I do.
Oh, you're like the black sheep of the investigation.
I am. For the first half hour, I am the black sheep.
Oh,
Yeah, I get
you're
left out.
such a nice person.
Oh, well, thank you.
You're welcome.
They don't wanna, give me any insight as to what's going on, right? So it's a full blind read,
And
and
this is to maintain the credibility of the investigation. Yeah.
exactly, yep. And then once that's done, it's interviews are being conducted, and then it's all of the boring stuff they don't show on TV. So we take baseline readings of everything in the environment because it's really about, especially for us, ruling out anything that can cause what we call symptoms of a haunting. So that's any kind of toxins in the air, molds, high electromagnetic fields, so things like that. So we'll do baseline readings, then we come together, we'll do a second round of readings, and then we might get into some of our more interesting stuff like maybe EVP sessions, trying to catch electronic voice phenomena, and a lot of trying to recreate the experiences that the homeowners are having.
During the time of the investigation, are the homeowners present?
Yes, usually they are. because we need them for interviews. And so they may be present the whole time or sometimes just for the interviews. But for the most part, they just like to sit and observe. And it's very helpful when we're trying to find out if something is typical for their experience or not to have them there.
While you're doing the investigation, um, how is it that the other spirits don't clue in? Because once again, I'm sure you've got your little heart light on. The lighthouse is going a mile a minute because you're on the investigation, so you're wide open. How do
Mhm.
you keep the other spirits from communicating with you?
Well, I mean, most of the time, I try to go in reading just the house. Um, that might sound a little strange, but it's just intention. So I try to read at a certain frequency. Usually, when you're performing mediumship uh, reading, you're
Mhm.
actually trying to open to a very specific frequency. So I
So
try to open to the house
So
or
it's
the.
just like somebody who focuses on something that they're working on, and
Mhm.
everything else is still going on, but you're so focused that you don't recognize or hear or see what else is going on. It's just like me when I'm watching TV. My wife is talking. I'm focused on the TV.
You have no clue what she said.
No way. And of course, to get myself out of that, I just say yes, dear, and that has bit me in the butt more times than enough.
Sorry, that could come around and hurt
Yeah.
you.
Jody, how do you balance compassion with honesty when delivering sensitive messages?
Mm, that's a good question. I think that for the most part, I have to accept that these aren't from me. I'm like a piece of paper or a radio. I'm just in between. And I tried to give as honest and true to the message as possible. Um, there are sometimes when I kind of fudge the translation just enough to soften it if it's something um, that I know for a fact is painful. So I'll never change the information. Sometimes I just try to soften the blow.
I don't know if you have ever done the example I'm going to give you. A mother and father come to you to
Mhm.
communicate with a child that they lost. That must be very hard on you.
It would be. I haven't had it,
Okay.
fortunately, but um, there are people that come and they want to talk to people that they've lost. It's a tricky position at times, but it's also you're the hope, I think. And it's good to remember that because no matter what message you give, even if they perceive it as a little bit painful,
Mm.
um, you're the hope that there is something there. And I think most of the time, that's actually what people are looking for, not the specific messages. They're just looking for reassurance that they live on in some way.
I would also imagine that you bring a lot of closure to a lot of people who did not have the opportunity of saying the last farewell to those who are on the other side, or
Mhm.
they they want to get something off their chest. So you provide a very valuable communication between this side and that side.
Well, thank you. It's, it's again, it's one of those things where I think it's more the idea that, are you hearing the things I'm saying? Um, I find most of the time, you're just the reassurance to things that they already believe or, things that they hope are true. So it's really people are almost self-healing when they do think when they ask me questions, because I'm just confirming for them what they already hope is true.
Halifax has a rich cultural and historical background. Do
Oh,
you feel that the local history influences spirit connections you make?
it very well could. I mean, there's a lot of high energy here,
Mhm.
all across Nova Scotia. I think that there's certainly no shortage of places to read, people to read, stories to investigate, and there's a lot of locations that are just high energy, a lot of historical locations, which is always very helpful when you read a place that they actually have the history on, and you compare your reading to the history. So I would say, yeah, there's a lot here that makes it's abundant for sure.
Elliot and I were talking the other day about Halifax itself, the Halifax explosion, the bringing of those people who lost their lives on the Titanic, all
Mm.
came to Halifax, and I would imagine that the water motion on the shores, which are very rocky, also create an electromagnetic essence that makes it much more easier for the spirits to communicate with us mortals.
Yeah, I mean, absolutely. If you believe that, as we do, that highly emotionally charged events
Mhm.
and things breed hauntings, and we've seen evidence of it in our investigating for sure.
Stand by, my friend. You and I have to take our final break for this hour. So, Nation, Jodi Russell's our special guest, and she is the psychic medium for the PPRI. And don't forget, November 1st, the Halifax Paranormal Symposium in Halifax. For more information, visit www.ppri.net, and we'll be back on the other side of this very short break. Don't go away.
Untold in the echoes of old, fact meets fiction in this realm of Halifax is calling, November lights the sky. At the Tower Hotel, the questions never die. Ancient astronauts and alien stories to be shown. Dr. Greenberg leads the way to an echo of the wonders that from beyond have come. Celestial encounter.
Welcome back, everyone. Jodi Russell is my very special guest this hour. She is part of PPRI, and they're putting on the 2025 Halifax Paranormal Symposium on November the 1st, the day after Halloween. Are you going to be giving away Halloween candies? Huh? Are you?
Like,
Are you? Are you?
joy.
Tell us a little bit more about what people can expect when they come to the Halifax Paranormal Symposium.
Yeah, definitely. Well, this year's bigger and better, which is great. It's a whole day event. We've got speakers from the US and Canada, 5 speakers this year, and just really great presentations from people at the top of their field. We have completely sold out of vendor tables, which
Wow.
is something people were hoping for, which is great. So lots of local vendors, local writers, and we've got paranormal personalities as well, like YouTubers and things like that. So it's quite full. Lots of energy workers and psychics, and again, we've got the extra events this year. So we've got a group reading with Laura Warren, who is a local medium, and we've got Paranormal Discovery actually doing a ghost hunt of the Keats Brewery this year, which is amazing. I think we're only the second team ever allowed to investigate, so it should be a really interesting day.
That's pretty cool, going to the Keeps Brewery. Here you're going to a place that manufactures spirits, and you're looking for spirits, and everybody will be leaving in good spirits.
Oh, yes, you're
Yeah.
so good.
Um, where's the most haunted place that you have ever visited, where you just walked into this place and said, "Oh boy,
Good
they're
question.
here"?
They're here. I would say, um, this might sound so broad, but I'm gonna say the town of Amherst.
Really?
Yes. There are um some strange energies there. I don't know if it's there I know there's some ley lines crossed there if you believe in that. And there's been some really brutal history as well in the town, which might add to it. But I find the whole place really charged. We've done some investigating there at personal homes, and we've also done historic properties, and it just seems like the whole place is haunted. So the fact that they hold Esterfest there makes perfect sense to me.
It's funny, and I don't mean that in the humorous sense.
Yeah.
There are certain towns, like you just described Amherst as being that haunted town. And we have the same thing here in Ontario in Niagara on the Lake. We have Fort George there, and this is where the War of 1812 was fought. And Brock's, the Army, Laura Secord.
Yeah.
The place was certainly a battle scene, and I have heard stories of people seeing battalions of ghost soldiers crossing the Niagara Parkway. Uh, People go to the Fort George with Ghost Tours of Niagara, Kyle Upton, and they hear the violin playing coming out of the barracks. They see the little girl at the end of the tunnel. They feel as if they back in history.
Yeah.
Is it possible, and I'm asking you with your expertise, is it possible that at certain places like in Amherst as well as in Niagara on the Lake, that timelines meet,
Ooh,
dimensions meet?
yes.
Yeah.
I would say absolutely. I would say any place that's had, um, like you said, they've seen battle, they've anything with high energy like that. I would say that the idea of residual haunting, things playing over and over, are very high. And then I would say there is something to the idea of, I call them thin spots, where the timelines come a little bit closer together, or maybe our plane and their plane come a little bit closer together, probably because of high energy at one time. And yes, absolutely. I would say it's a huge factor, actually.
Just like Halloween, where
Yes.
if we get away from the commercialization of Halloween and we look back to Halloween throughout history, the veil is thinnest according to many
That's right.
who are pagans and who follow witchcraft. What is the message that you, Jodi Russell, a psychic and a medium, would like to share with our audience tonight?
Oh my, good question. I would say, I would say that the most important thing to share, given the things that I know, is that um, intention is everything. So if you're going to work in the paranormal, if you're going to work as a medium or psychic, the intention that you bring to the experience will shape your experience. You don't have to um, have all these nightmarish or scary experiences all the time. And if you go in with love, then you get love back. So that's probably my favorite message.
I love it. I truly do. For people who are grieving loss, Jodi,
Mhm.
what would you like them to know about connecting with spirit?
That there is no special way. You don't need somebody like me. Um, I could be marketing myself, I guess, but you don't need somebody like me. They hear you. They are everywhere. They have when people pass, they gain knowledge, they gain insight. Um, so once they move on, they know that if they've hurt you, they know if you've hurt them and you're sorry. They don't need to carry on those things that we carry here. So trust that everything on the other side works out, and you don't need somebody like me to bridge the gap. That you can have those conversations with them.
I would imagine you're more or less um, a translator,
Yeah.
spiritual translator, because you translate from this side to the other side. When you were growing up, Jodi, did you have any idea that you would be doing what you're doing today and the number of people that you help on a daily basis and the number of hearts that you help to mend?
Oh, thank you. No, I think that I've said actually even just this year, I'd say like little Jodi could only dream that I'd be actually using this to help people. So I kind of am living my dream right now, doing paranormal investigation and being part of something, a really great team, and doing mediumship work as well. So I didn't think it, but I guess I wished it. So maybe I made that happen. I don't know.
I've always believed that the difference between a dream and reality is
Mm,
just doing it. The dream is the idea and working towards the fulfillment of your dream to bring it to reality. So you and I are on the same wavelength.
I love it.
How do you see the role of mediums evolving in today's world?
I think it's a little tricky. I think that it's been shown as entertainment for so long, but I kind of like that we're getting away from that a little bit. I see a lot more teams like mine, like PPRI, utilizing psychics and mediums just as a tool in their tool belt, which I love. I love that I have a role there, and I'm not the be all end all of the process, because it we it's a tool, it's a skill, but it's one of many, and I do see a lot more of that coming around. A lot more people of scientific minds working with uh, spiritualists. So it's really nice to see, actually.
My final question for you tonight is what's the biggest lesson you've learned, Jodi,
Mm.
from working with the spirit world?
I think the biggest lesson I've learned is that all of the divides that we have here don't matter. So it's freeing. I think if more people could feel that truly, we would probably be more content and at peace. No matter what you believe or what you think, in the end, we're all gonna be where we are, and we're all gonna be content with it. So
Do you think that science and the paranormal will ever come to work together to bring some sense to what many people like yourself, myself, and the rest of the PPRI teams call normal? Do you think that time will come?
you know what? I actually really do. I don't know if it'll be, while I'm working on it, but I do think I like to liken paranormal work to germ theory, and how once upon a time, because we couldn't see it, we didn't believe it, and people were almost ostracized for believing there was a causation between like dirt and death.
Yeah.
And I just think once we learn how to what it is we're trying to measure, and come up with the specific experiments to measure those things, I think it will be taken on by more regular science fields.
One more time, tell our listeners about the Halifax Paranormal Symposium.
Yes, sir. So, November 1st, we're having the third annual Halifax Paranormal Symposium. It's going to be at the Halifax Tower Hotel. It's an all-day event. We have experts at the top of their field from Canada and the US. They come in and they share wonderful lectures. This year, we're actually going to be featuring it online as well. So you can buy discounted tickets if you want to experience it at a distance or from home. And lots of local vendors, lots of extra events, and we even have direct communication where maybe you could talk to somebody that on the other side. So lots to look forward to for sure this year.
Jodi, I want to thank you ever so much for joining us. Continued success. Thank you for the great work that you do.
Thank you.
And please give my very best to everybody at the PPRI.
I
And
absolutely.
good luck on the November the 1st. Mind you, you won't need it because I know you and I know Elliot, and I've spoken to Brian Baker, and I've spoken to Tony Rathman. And with such talent, such professionalism, such enthusiasm, it's guaranteed and bound to be a success. Good night to you.
Have a good night, Rob. Thank you.
You take care of yourself now.
You
All
too.
right, Exo Nation, that's it for this hour. I will be back on the other side of this very short break as we continue investigating the world of the paranormal and the science of parapsychology right here from our broadcast center in St. Catharines, Ontario, Canada. You're watching us on the Talkstar Radio Network, Exxon Broadcast Network, Mutual Broadcast Network, and listening to us around the world on your hometown radio, Classic 1220, CFAJAM, just down the street from us here in St. Catharines, who stream us on classic1220.ca. Don't go away. We'll be back very shortly with more of the strange, the weird, the bizarre from this place that I call the X Zone.
Streaks across the sky, aglow with a haunting melody. The air begins to thrum, an echo of the wonders that from beyond have come. Celestial encounter as the stars align, a tapestry of wonders woven through space and time. From the void of darkness, a chorus sings so bright, mysteries unfolding in the velvet night. Through the gauze of